has found myself, honestly, I'll be honest, I have thrown cups at least twice, I remember. And I threw cups not because I wanted to harm someone, but because, you see, words were coming that I could not respond to properly in that time. Cups were broken. And honestly, I've seen people be broken by these seemingly innocent, controlled anger things. So when we get back from the break, we'd like to hear about how anger really does break people. Thank you.
Our vision is that through our work, there will be a raising of a movement of godly, solid, covenant men who know themselves, understand their purpose, and are clear about their worth and responsibility to lead the nation's generations, one man to one son, passing on the authentic blueprint of a God kind of man. We're back with Fiona Sozi. Why are you laughing?
No, sometimes I laugh at the way people pronounce my name.
How am I supposed to pronounce it?
No, I sometimes I say I'm Fiona Sozi and I'm like Susie, as in like Susan. I'm like,
Fiona
Sozi.
Yeah. Sozi, that's double S or Z-I.
Yeah.
Right.
Mamuganda.
Or Z-I. Is it Z? Is it Z?
It depends on where
We
you
can
went to
Google.
school.
If you're an American, it's Z.
Yeah.
If you're British, it's Z, I think.
So anger leaves scars. That's what we've discovered.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. But anyway.
And you have to be intentional about maybe cleaning those scars if there's
for
such a
you,
thing.
Fiona, what was you as a person? Maybe there are some ladies who are listening here. What was your process? Looking back, what was your process in handling anger issues, undertones, and whatever it is that you've experienced in your life so far? How has been your process in dealing with this as the recipient of
outbursts?
Yeah.
Like I said, it helped a great deal knowing where the person was coming from.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they call it these days they call it emotional intelligence. Is that so? Yeah.
Yeah. So
so you've got to be intentional about understanding the other party.
Yeah.
Right.
And sometimes you could be lucky to know more about the person, what could be going on. Like if it's at a workplace, you can know. Maybe you have friends that are closer to that person. Maybe they've come from a meeting and they've been overly questioned, and now they come out of that office they come out of a meeting feeling that their job is on the line. And so if you were supposed to deliver something and it's like you're causing them to seem inadequate or not, or they're falling short of their workplace. So then you're going to be the recipient of that outburst. So if it's in a home setting or a family setting like where I was, if you say it's your spouse, they're struggling at their job, but then also they have pressure from maybe parents, but then you're friends with the siblings, and you kind of get you kind of get some understanding of what happened in a family meeting. What conversations took place.
More information.
Exactly. So when the person comes home and there's this mood, you can't have a proper conversation. You can't get an objectivity from them. Then you know where that could be coming from. Because sometimes when asking questions, it's not going to get you the answers that you're looking for. It's like, but why are you like this today? Yesterday we talked about this, and it's like even just I remember once deciding on what car to buy, and we're just not making any headway. And so today the conversation seems great and you're making some headway, and then tomorrow the same conversation it spirals
totally
into something else. And so once you have more information about what could have happened, maybe they reached out maybe about money. It could be in how much we're spending on the car, or maybe that money could have done something else, and all of a sudden it's like there's a bigger need that seems priority to them, but they won't voice it because it's not really priority. It's not a family priority, and it's also maybe not priority for you. So then they won't be able to tell you exactly what it is.
Mhm.
So then they will just give you you'll just get the outburst. So you, as I said, take the high road and drink that imaginary glass of water, sleep on it, and then tomorrow when the energy is different, or maybe you're driving from church, it's a happy day, or you're coming from visiting with a friend, or you're coming from a dinner or a meal,
So
or
you raise the
something.
issue. But
You're like,
Fiona, at the end of the day, you as the woman in a relationship,
yeah.
you're not expecting that, right?
No,
You're
it's
expecting
like nobody
you enter
prepares you for
exactly.
that. Yeah.
You get into this relationship because you're looking for bliss. You're looking for
Yeah.
a knight in shining armor.
Yeah.
You've seen.
Who painted that knight's picture? I also have to talk about that.
I think it's the story of love. Some of us are hopeless romantics, so you kind of that's what you expect.
So how do you submit to a weak man?
Aish, no.
Because you see where we are going with this, from
Yeah.
what she's been describing. Yeah.
Is that weak?
A man who is struggling to lead becomes frustrated
Yeah.
when the sheep he's supposed to lead seem to be ahead of him. Now, for he's just following her around. You see?
So how do you help a situation of that nature?
Yes.
Is that what you're asking?
Yes, because from what you're describing,
Unless you're saying that a man who has less money cannot lead, because
that's where community has also now come to.
Because there are people that are great leaders. We know couples where the men are great leaders, but
Let me just break down.
Humps ahead.
no, but I'll be honest. But
Yeah.
when I think when you find a man who is comfortable in their skin, I like saying that. But of course, you might question what exactly does it mean to be comfortable in a skin.
Solid jammer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, you're fine with who you are. You're fine with your career progression. And yes, your friends are CEOs, but you're still down here. But you're growing. You're trusting your journey. It's you.
Fiona, there are two things here.
Yeah.
There is the woman in the relationship,
Yeah.
and then there is the man.
Yeah.
Okay? Because the issue with the man might be the idea that I don't have what she has. I have little, I have
But
less.
must you have what she has?
Now that's the point.
Why isn't it ours?
Exactly.
For me, that's a question. Why is it
is
hers,
out, but you see,
his, and not ours?
Oh yeah. Why
it
is
might even be ours.
That's what I'm saying.
Uh-huh.
But
At-
in
at
your
some
mind,
point,
because
exactly.
at the end of the day, that check does not have your name. So it doesn't matter whether we even have a joint account.
Yeah.
But because
If you
in your
have an
mind
issue,
you feel like
yes.
you're bringing only 30%, you're not
Yes.
the one bringing the 90%.
Yes.
We
So
need
now
help.
there's that part. You see how she's brought it.
Yeah.
The idea is that maybe the problem is not the one who has the 70%.
Yeah.
The problem is the one who feels less because they're bringing 30% or less, and probably it's not even consistent.
Yeah.
So in their setup, remember we've been talking about identity of a man.
Mm-hmm.
If a man has a problem with their identity,
Yeah.
then it's going to affect them. But then the question would be, now the woman in the equation, that's what you were asking earlier on.
Mm.
What kind of woman can be in the life of this guy and help him? Or is it too much to ask of a woman?
Abigail. We talked about Abigail.
We talked about Abigail in episode
Yeah,
5,
remember
6
Abigail came at a man with anger issues. The man was coming to commit murder.
Yeah.
David was on his way to kill Abigail's husband.
Yeah.
And then when Abigail turns up, first of all, Abigail didn't like her husband. We need to make that clear. When
But she was a wise woman.
exactly.
But yeah,
So now
but
she
then-
turns up, and then she, with wisdom, calms the situation
Yeah.
and ends a nigger moment. How? She tells this man that you're acting like a boy, but you are a king.
So now that's what I was asking Fiona. What kind of woman, right? What kind of woman in that particular situation, maybe speaking from experience,
Yeah.
does a woman need to up her game in that kind of a relationship to help the noble, to help the man,
Yeah.
Or lift her man.
to lift a man up? Does she need some extra energy, extra strength, extra emotional whatever,
Absolutely.
extra capacity,
Absolutely.
right?
It takes maturity. You, as I said, sometimes the person will throw stuff at you, and you have to take the high road. You have to be the mature person. And yes, as you mentioned that, do you need extra support or extra energy? It helps to know what kind of support system that you have.
Yeah.
So for me, I'll speak, for myself. Like, yes, I go to church. I am in a Bible study group.
Yeah.
I have friends who are quite grounded.
Yeah.
So sometimes, I remember there's a time I did a study. I used to go to Watoto Church and we did Apples of Gold.
Yeah.
And it's a study for women.
Yeah.
And I found myself in that circle where we meet weekly and we talk about some of the issues, and you have all the women telling you that, okay, yes, as younger women, you might struggle with even balancing work and family and children and all those things. And sometimes you come home and you're so tired, and then all you're getting is bad energy, and you're like, it's the last thing that I need. And so once you're able to, you put yourself at the feet of older people who are grounded, and you expose yourself to the Word of God and allow, it's like you're grounded in the Word of God and say, yes, I have my weak moments, but in that weak moment, I remember something that someone said to me. I remember something that I learned from church. I remember someone sharing an experience of how they dealt with a situation like that. So you can't be an island. You have to be from a place where you're being filled.
Yeah.
Because once you're filled, then you can only give out what you already have.
Yeah.
So if I am exposing myself to a place where I learn grace and kindness and I receive love, and then once these things are thrown at me, I'm able to extend grace. I'm able to give love. I'm able to, do all those things and be able to respond differently. I'm not saying that happened 100%.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask. Was there a time that you contributed to?
Did you have it coming? Why you look back and like, no, I had that one coming.
Guys, so there'll be those moments when, say, I am tired, and I am like, if I'm going to go back here, and I kind of imagine this is what I'm going to walk into, and I'm not ready for that. So I'll pass by a friend's house. We'll drink coffee, we'll drink tea, and then I'll just go home, and then I'll just get home, and it's the hours have passed. And you see, I could say it was my way of
avoiding?
Not exactly avoiding. It's like allowing myself to be filled. Because you can't be in a place where you're giving, then I can't run on empty. Because if I'm running on empty, what you're going to get out of me is going to be a lot of ungodliness.
You're right.
So that was my way of allowing myself to be filled. It could have been wrong, because then I could have been in a place where I can't even communicate the fact that, you know what, I need to pass by my friend's house to be filled, because you won't understand it. You won't understand my need to find refreshment or rejuvenation. For me to come and deal with you.
Is it true that for the most part, you guys, women, you need that? What you're talking about, being filled.
You go to Java's, you see cocoons of 3, 1, 2,
and you
3.
need it. If you're in a relationship, you need it maybe from your man, right? Is that?
What do you mean, from another man or from you?
No, from your man, from your husband, from your boyfriend.
Yeah.
You need what it is you're looking for from your friend's place.
Even as she thinks about that.
I could say that, because if I am in a relationship with you, I have allowed myself to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
So I've literally exposed myself. So when I need a little pat on the back.
Yeah.
And so if I'm not getting it,
yeah.
But then I also know that, okay, my person is in a place where he cannot give it.
Yeah.
So then where do I go?
The women's conference. The one at Java's. You walk into Java's, just look.
No, as long as you're not surrounding yourself with people that are going to probably, there's categories of those conversations, of course.
Yeah,
there are people that are going to build you, and there are people that are going to just break your relationship. Throwing all the negativity. Oh no, because I've been in a space where I've had conversations with friends, be like, oh, my wife, she's with friends. We're like, you don't need that man. You leave. But
they
you
don't
also want to be
each
honest.
other so much bad
you want
advice,
to be in places where conversations are edifying.
Let me say this to you, Auntie Lawrence. the straightest way to a woman's heart is through her ears.
Conversation.
Let me say that for every man out there.
Yeah.
The